G'day everyone, Duckville here. We're going to watch some replays from the recently released Team Liquid This Week in Replays pack, which was just came out, I think, 2 or 3 days ago. I can't actually be sure, I just grabbed it off the net. But anyway, this is going to be between a Protoss and a Zerg. Of course, the featured player from Team Liquid this week was actually Liquid Hero, who's of course one of the really great Protoss to watch. He does some really cool things with the way he approaches certain situations. He does some cool things with warp prisms as well. If you've been watching his stream, of course, you can jump onto teamliquid.net and jump on his live stream, where you can see him doing some really cool stuff, especially with warp prisms. I know recently there was something along the lines of a Colossus that would just travel around the map and just absolutely stomp everything that was in its way. So make sure you are having a look at that when you can. We'll just go on busy there. Thank you, Battle Now. I keep forgetting to put that that setting on that makes you go busy when you're in a game. Anyway, we'll do that later, but his opponent is going to be a Zerg player over here. Of course, one of Hero's best matchups would undoubtedly be the PvZ, and we'll see his Zerg opponent over here has the name Startail Tiger, but from what I understand, Tiger is actually a Protoss player, so I'm thinking this may be someone else on Tiger's account playing as a Zerg, and we'll obviously see, or perhaps Tiger's just that good and he's got a really good secondary race. But oh well, we'll find out exactly what's happening here. It looks as if Hero is just scouting across the map, just popping in here to the main base, going to catch that drone on the way down to the natural, perhaps going to try and block off the natural if he can. That'd be a really good way to start the game for Hero. Does put down that pylon, making sure that the drone cannot get that up and running at all. And as we can see, he's going to have to sit there and whack away at the pylon. But for now, we can see, of course, the Hero is going to just jump down here to the natural. It looks as if he is going to go for the Nexus not long after this Forge is done. And perhaps we'll see him just take that really quick Nexus and get us off to a really nice macro game, which I'd love to see, of course. Always love the macro games. You get to see some cool stuff at the end of the game and towards the end, and you get to see how well players can shape up when you get to the real thick part of the game, where it's all about being efficient and watching what you're doing. Speaking of which, look at that. Beautiful work by both of these players, actually pulling back just at the last second here. We can see that Hero's shields will regen on that probe right now. The drone is, of course, regenning its health, but it looks as if Hero might be able to snap off that drone's neck, but he's not. He's giving it a go, trying to get around doing a bit of a dance here around this pylon. The Lings will take care of the pylon, and of course that means that the hatchery can go down, and now this probe is going to have to run away, run for the hills, in fact, because he is going to need to just get out of town. If he can, it'd be very good if he can actually capture that probe and take care of it with the Lings. But of course, for Hero's side, if you actually keep the probe alive, it means he can do some good scouting later on. But as we'll see, he's just doing a bit of waypointing here and not going to get too far from those Lings. But just having a look at what, we'll call him Tiger just purely because that's what his name is. But as I said, I don't actually know if this is the real ST Tiger, who's one of the B teamers, by the way. You might not have heard of who he is, but he's one of the B teamers on Startail. Going for a gasless opening here, as we can see, taking the natural expansion, and in fact going for a very, very quick third. This is a bit reminiscent of the old Brood War days, where you would see a Zerg take that very, very quick third base if they actually saw a Protoss get that fast expand up and running. And as we can see, he is definitely doing a good job of keeping an eye on what is happening here. You can see how much chrono is still left in that Nexus, and can also see how many probes are being transferred down to the natural, because he's just going to try and slide across here and see how many probes are out. Of course, if you can have a look at how many probes are up and running for your Protoss opponent, you can of course gauge when an attack may come. You can gauge, of course, when you need to drone and when you need to not drone. So always very important things to take care of when you're playing as a Zerg. And as we can see here, great micro there from Tiger, actually pulling away those two hurt Lings there. Beautiful job. In fact, may not even lose any of these Lings, but it looks as if the Zealot will have the last laugh there. Going to regen its shields in just a moment and should be able to take care of the rest of the Lings now once the shields are back up and running. Not to mention there is a Stalker down here in the mix as well, and he's just going to pop in and say hello, and those Lings are probably going to go down. He's probably going to lose one, maybe a two, but I don't think the Stalker is going to be fast enough. Just a tiny bit faster, I believe, believe, without speed. But there you go, takes a shot, and the Lings will get away to fight another day. So we will see what Hero is going to do about this base up here. He has spotted it with this scouting probe, which has just come across here. The Stalker is going to take some shots. Obviously not going to be that efficient to try and take out the hatchery with just the Stalker and the Zealot. Going to need to try and get into position, perhaps just over here near the mineral line, so they can actually make efficient use of the 2 units they've got here. In fact, again, nice micro there by Hero, just actually trying to get the Stalker out of range of those Lings, but not doing a good enough job of that. The 2 units go down, and it looks as if this secondary probe will also go down as well. So just having a look back at what Hero is up to, he's got a Stargate up and running, going to get that across to the 3rd base of Tiger, and of course try and harass that 3rd base if he can, which is just a standard sort of way to open up in PvZ. Of course, you want to try and make sure that the Zerg does not get away scot-free with this 3rd base. If you can get in there, either take out the hatchery, take out the drones, always a fantastic way to open up against the Zerg, while you yourself are actually getting your own economy up and running here. As we can see, in fact, that is not actually a full block there from Hero. He's actually had to put the cybernetic squad just a little bit further down here. We're just, as you can see there, that actually blocks off across that way, not through here though. So he's got to be careful with just that front door there, just in case any Lings try and slip by. And we can obviously see that he's got a couple of sentries out now. The cannon is up and running, so he should be fine with that. But just an interesting point to note that he didn't actually full wall off. Of course, some people, when you actually wall off this this front base, like you can sort of put the cyber can go there when you do a little bit of shimmying with the gateway, and that actually blocks off your units from getting out. So it can be a little bit of trouble if you're actually trying to do some scouting. And speaking of which, this Void Ray not actually getting too much done. We can see that this 3rd base is still fine to go. A Spore Crawler is going up at, we would assume, he's probably going to get a couple at each of the bases, but it doesn't look like it. He's just getting one. He's getting an Overseer out now, which is going to help out with defending it against any possible DT attacks. But of course, we're not going to see anything like that because the tech is not even there just yet. So looks as if Hero is going to look to try and perhaps take out a Queen. There is a Spore Crawler, actually. That's very cute. I don't know if he's done that on purpose, but the Overlord is actually kind of blocking that Spore Crawler in a way. But as we can see, we've got a Phoenix, and we've got 2 Phoenix and a Void Ray out, and I think there was a second Void Ray. There it is. And these guys are going to try and run around and cause some mischief at the natural expansion. It is a little bit more open to attack. As we can see here, there are no Spore Crawlers at this base just yet. He's just building one now. Tiger's going to have that ready to go shortly, but for the moment he's going to lose both of these extractors, no doubt about that. Perhaps a few drones if he's not careful with these. But it looks as if the Queens are going to come along. There is one Spore Crawler done here. The second one is just on the way. The Queen is now being lifted up, taking some shots there. Good micro from Hero, pulling back that one Void Ray that was actually quite damaged, and it looks as if the 2 Queens are going to hang around for the moment and provide a little bit of defense. And look at this. We actually have Hero taking the what is essentially a semi-island base here. I would say this is incredibly sort of risky in a way, because of the simple fact that a Zerg is always going to be looking to scout across this path. If he can come through, it means he'll spot this Nexus very quickly. Now the advantage for Hero is that of course, until that happens, he'll actually have free reign over this base, and what he can do is actually put up a couple of cannons just sort of around this area, or perhaps even closer into the Nexus as well, and then he will be able to keep that safe and sound. So we'll see what he is going to get up to here. We've got a couple of Phoenix out, along with a few extras as well. We can see these guys coming in to join the battle. We're going to try and take out some of these Overlords. As we can see, random Overlords scattered around, not going to be doing too well here. The Spire is done, so we'll probably see a little bit of air defense coming out of Tiger shortly. It looks as if this Spore Crawler's had a bad day. He's had to move around again, going down from the natural to the main base, but it looks as if the Phoenix are going to have some fun here with some of these units strewn out the front of the base. One Overlord going down, a couple of extra units as well, and it looks as if Hero's going to be able to just run around and be quite mischievous with these units. Of course, he's not going to be able to just fully take down the whole Zerg force, of course, but he will be able to just make sure that his opponent is not getting away with too much too easily. And as we can see here, Hero actually doing a great job with his probes, currently sitting at 59. He is 10 behind, but of course that's to be expected in a case like this, where the Zerg has actually taken that quick 3rd base. And as we can see here, got that Warp Prism there. We'll keep an eye on what that gets up to, because of course, as we mentioned at the start of the game, Hero actually likes to get up to some very cheeky things with those Warp Prism. So we'll see what happens with that. Looks as if we're going to get a denial on that 4th base. The Void Rays have had enough, and they are taking down that base. We'll see if he actually gets inside and is able to take out some more of this 3rd, but it looks as if a few Corruptors are going to come across as well. Going to be able to shoot down both of these Void Rays. Of course, one of them was quite damaged from earlier on, but one of the Corruptors, great transfusion there from Tiger, actually just saving those Corruptors, and it looks as if the Phoenix are going to come and try and have a go at these Corruptors. Not the best way to battle, of course. The Corruptors do a great job against Phoenix, and as we can see, it looks as if Tiger is going to try and take, in fact, he's going for a 4th and 5th here. I'm not actually sure if he's aware of Hero's base. No, he's not. He's not aware of this 6 o'clock base here. He does have a scouting Zergling up here at the possible 3rd, but still has no idea. In fact, now I can see with that the Zelnaga Watchtower, I can actually see that there's no 3rd in there. So a little bit of a risky play here from Tiger, actually taking the 4th and the 5th bases off just very little army presence at the moment here. Of course, he does have to deal with the fact that there are these Phoenix out. The Void Rays are being taken care of, but a lot of these Corruptors should be able to take care of the Phoenix once they get in range, and as we can see, that's going to be the problem for Tiger. He's going to have to keep up with these Phoenix. Hero doing a great job just running around, trying to actually just do whatever damage he can. He should be able to run in here, perhaps pick up a few of these drones, picking up the drones on the gas. Beautiful tactic there. Of course, we have mentioned in previous broadcasts that it is a really good way to actually disrupt what your opponent is doing if you can actually take the drones off the gas. As we can see here, Tiger not actually replenishing the drones inside that extractor, and that's going to cost him a bit of gas. So we'll see if he does get back into gear with that. It looks as if that Warp Prism is now coming into effect here, is going to be able to run in here and take out this base, this 4th base, of course. What he's going to try and do perhaps is just make sure that he's distracting at other parts of the map, and as we can see here, actually getting this base now. This is looking beautiful here. The one problem for Hero is that there are so many Roaches out on the map at the moment. We've got a couple of Colossus, we got some Stalkers, and a few Sentries as well. What I want to see is some actual usage of that Warp Prism. Is he actually going to get inside? Yes, he is. Here we go. This is our trademark Liquid Hero here, just bringing in a whole bunch of Zealots, and they're going to try and run inside and take care of this hatchery, and they probably should be able to straight away, but it looks as if we're going to have a counter-attack down to the side here, getting some vision on the high ground, taking out one pylon, but I don't think he's going to be able to get inside the main base. 3 Colossus out, and along with those Phoenix, he should be able to defend that for the moment, but it looks as if the Zealots have had a party up here. That is going crazy, and they are able to take out that hatchery, so we'll see what Tiger is going to do. It looks as if there was a secondary drop down here at the 4th base as well. Doing a great job just funneling into that position there are the Lings, which means that the Zealots actually had a really good time of taking out a lot of those Lings there, being really cost efficient. And it looks as if we'll see Hero actually try and come across here and take out some more of these drones. He's not going to get too much done. The Roaches have come in. The Roaches, keep in mind, do have +2 to their attack already. Doing a great job with those upgrades there. And we'll see what Hero is going to do. It looks as if that Prism does have speed. He's going to come inside and perhaps try and drop inside the natural expansion. It looks as if, where is that waypoint going? There it is. It's going down to the main base. He may try and assault some of the tech that is inside the base of Tiger. And with that Hive on the way, this could be quite beneficial to him. If he can get in there, take out some of these tech buildings, he'll be in a really nice spot. But as you can see, the Prism has to fly away. Prisms are faster than Corruptors once they have their upgrades. And as we can see, it looks as if Hero is going to try and push through the middle of the map. Going to look to try and deny this, what was originally the 5th base, but is now actually the 4th. And while he's attacking there, we've actually have a Force just blinking inside the main of Tiger. And Tiger is just doing a fantastic defense here with Corruptors against Stalkers. Nope, he's not. So he's going to actually lose the 4th base up the top here. Actually getting that taken out quite quickly. And I would say this 3rd base is actually up for grabs as well. Looks as if Hero doing a good job pulling those Stalkers out of battle. They've done their job in distracting most of the forces of Tiger, and Tiger's going to have a lot to deal with on his hands here. He's got these Corruptors in the sky are going to put down some corruption on those Colossi, taking out 1, possibly 2, and this 3rd looks like it's probably going to go down. There are not enough Stalkers on the ground to take care of all of those Corruptors, and all of those Colossi are now dead, and it looks as if we're going to have a very interesting position here for both Tiger and Hero. Hero's got a really nice ground force, but if depending on how he uses his force fields, he could be in a little bit of trouble, but we'll see what happens. We've got a whole bunch of Roaches coming out. In fact, another attack inside the main here, trying to get on top of that Great Aspire. The Prism is actually going to try and drop in a few more units here. He's not going to get the Great Aspire down, but the Prism is still alive, and the Prism is still going to try try and fly away. In fact, no, it's not. He's actually lost all of his waypoints here, and down goes that prism. A little bit unfortunate there for Hero. Now, as we mentioned before, these units are actually trapped inside. We have a huge, huge ball of roaches here. They're just, no, okay, there we go. Looks as if they were just going to walk by and just, you know, give each other a hug and something like that and then run away. But it looks as if Tiger's well aware of what was happening there and takes out most of those units. Hero looks as if he's going to try and blink away with these stalkers, and keeping them alive is a really good way to keep your cost efficiency going there. And there he goes, blinking those away. The roaches have no idea where he went. It's like Batman when he actually uses that smoke bomb thing and just disappears on you. But here we go. We've got the 4th base up and running here for Hero. He's just missing a few probes on some of this gas, switching into the Templar tech. As we can see, he does have Storm. Can use them for Archons as well. We've got +3 to weapons on the way. We've got another Warp Prism drop in here. We got a DT. In fact, 4 DTs going to drop inside on that Great Aspire, taking that out. Bam. And that is done. And that is going to be the end of any possible Broodlord tech. But it looks as if Tiger is already in the mix there with 6 Broodlords out. He's got Banelings inside some of these Overlords as well. No detection here. And finally an Overseer comes across. The rest of the Zerg forces just sitting around like they're having a sandwich or something, having nothing to do while the Overseer was out of town. And looks as if Hero has done what he wanted to do there, essentially taking out that Great Aspire, denies any further Broodlord presence on the map once these 6 dudes are down. So things are actually looking very nice at the moment here for Hero. This base has actually gone totally unobstructed for the time being. In fact, doesn't even know that that's there. Knows the pylons here, but still does not even know that that this base is there. So interesting sort of position here. And as we can see, it looks as if the Broodlords and the rest of the forces are now trying to move across the map. Hero, well aware of this, actually blinks underneath those Broodlords, takes out 3 of them, and it looks as if one Infestor is actually 2 Infestors, sorry, down the back there. They could prove very, very useful in this upcoming battle here if he gets some good fungals down on these stalkers when they're inside. But it looks as if huge storms going off there, feedbacks on top of those Infestors as well. Looks as if the Overlords are trying to come in here and drop down some of these Banelings, but they're not going to get too much done. Hero doing a fantastic job, just being very mobile with these Stalkers, taking out the Broodlords, and in fact gets on the high ground here. The Roaches still, of course, have vision, and they should be able to deal with a lot of these Stalkers, but there are just so many Stalkers, and now with DTs in the mix, that battle did not go well at all for Tiger, and it looks as if we may have another drop here inside the main here. Hero's going to drop in a few more DTs, I would say, and probably just start whacking away at this infestation pit, which, if he can take that down, that would actually give him a great position, meaning that that Tiger would have no way to actually deal with this massive ball of Stalkers that's creeping around the map. But there we can see a couple of DTs getting picked off, fungal growth on top of them, and they've got stuff all over their suit and they can't get around at all. So that's not a good way to go down, but it looks as if Hero is now doing a lot of damage. Trademark Hero, as we said earlier on, dropping in all sorts of units and just being incredibly annoying here. It's like it's a little bit like watching MMA play as a Protoss. You would think that's what it is, but it looks as if Hero is going to just try and get inside here. Beautiful fungal growth there from Tiger, actually getting that on top of the big clump of those Stalkers there. Not actually getting enough done, but he should be able to deflect it for the moment here. One Archon and an Immortal actually not actually getting too much done, but look at this tech assassination here from Hero. He's taken out the Infestation Pit, we've taken out the Great Aspire earlier on, and now the Baneling Nest. We've taken out an Evo chamber as well, and Hero's going to have to Tiger's going to have to rebuild these somewhere else. As we can see, the Infestation Pit going up here at the natural expansion. We'll probably see maybe the Spire go up somewhere as well. I'm not actually sure, but as we can see on the income tab, we've actually got the Harvesters of Tiger way down. He's currently at 54, and keep in mind we are 25 minutes into this game, and Hero currently sitting on a beautiful number, 84 probes. So he's doing a great job there. Looks as if we're going to try and have a counter drop into this 6th base here. It's not actually going to get too much done. There are so many cannons here, and with the DTs coming into the mix, these Lings are not going to get a single thing done. In fact, not actually losing anything at all, and it looks as if Tiger actually lost more in that engagement. So as we can see, Hero again with this Warp Prism. This is the 2nd Warp Prism, because keep in mind we got one in the main and up here at this attempted 4th base as well. Just waiting to see if Hero's going to pull in some units. There we go, bring in 3-4 DTs here. He's going to be be able to snap the hatchery straight away. He's going to send 2 into the hatchery here to deny that one, and then perhaps a few more down here into this space as well. While that's going on, we've got Zealot drops inside the main. These guys are going to provide a little bit of a distraction to these roaches and the Infestor as well. The Infestor decides he's had enough, puts down a Fungal and a couple of Infested Terrans. They're not going to be able to take care of that Prism though. Thank you for that patch. We actually see that Warp Prism stay alive for a moment there. Normally if you yell bad things about the Warp Prism's mother at it, it'll actually go down, but as you can see, stayed alive for the moment. A couple more Colossus coming into the mix here for Hero. He's going to be able to push through and perhaps take out this Hive, I would think. He's just running through now, going to take out what he can, looking to take out some of these, some more of these tech buildings. And as we just saw, the Warp Prism finally did go down. But this is looking very, very bad here for Tiger. He's losing so much of his economy there and his macro capabilities. Of course, he's lost all of those tech buildings. We've now the only tech buildings he's really got are the Roach Warren and the Infestation Pit as well. And as we can see, he's got no third, he's got no fourth, and no fifth. Meanwhile, across the map, we've got Hero sitting on a fourth. He's got effectively, he's got 6 spaces up. He's got this one still mining quite nicely here. We've got the this one, which was taken just a little bit later than that 6th space. But hang on, we've got a huge battle in the middle. Some Infestors going down there to feedbacks. We see all sorts of units going all over the place here. DTs, and there is the GG from Tiger. Absolutely fantastic play from Hero. Just utilizing those drops time and time again, as we saw, denying this base, pushing in to deny the 4th as well, and then the 3rd, and then just dropping everywhere to make sure that Tiger had no tech up and running, giving him no chance of getting into that game. So hope you guys enjoyed that one. I'll probably get a couple more games of Hero up very soon. Cheers.